unnecessary intro song to totally waste your time.
You know, I don't even really want to be here. It's really hard for me to even do this. I just do it out of obligation. I would much rather be doing something else. And I'd rather be with other people in a different place. But, lucky you, I pulled myself up and I'm here. Lucky you. I mean, I didn't even want to do it. I didn't even want to be here. Where I was, away from you, was so nice. Oh, you wouldn't believe how nice everything is. Where I'm from, where I was. But now I'm here with you. But I just want you to know I didn't want to be here. But I did it for you. You like that? I heard somebody say this to my dad while sitting right next to him. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, whoa, jeez. Did you really just say that? Ugh. What do you do, man? Certain relatives. This same relative told me that her kids find me to be an amazing novelty and would love to see me. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked up the word novelty, but it's typically attached to, I think, disposable knickknacks. You know? The same relative pumps her kids full of drugs because they don't pay attention. You know, drugs for good grades. Because that works, right? Oh, you're not getting good grades here. Eat these drugs. I don't know, man. This certain relative was such a fun little relative early on in life. But then something happened. I don't know what it was. I think it was literally something about becoming a homecoming queen, which turned this person into a mean person. Just a mean person. And for forevermore, since that, it's just been one mean thing, one backhanded, passive-aggressive thing after another. And I know I'm probably just describing every Christmas you've ever had as well. But sometimes I just sit back and think, is she really mean? Or is she just a fucking idiot? And I kind of want to believe she's a fucking idiot. I mean, sometimes you got to give people a choice. Like, are you a fucking idiot or are you just a complete and total asshole? Which one do you want to be? Somebody who's aware that they're being passive-aggressive and backhanded and mean? You know, families are weird. And they're even weirder. You know, I was sitting around at Christmas and I got a divide Christmas. I had a wonderful drive from San Francisco to Salt Lake with my only offspring. And so that's a nice, 13-hour conversation. That's a lot of conversation. And it was lovely. So holiday got started off quite well. And then I, divide my time up between my mother's house. My parents were divorced when I was a baby. I don't ever remember them being together. I think they were divorced when I was 8 months old or something. But I've always had time with my dad and time with my mom. My dad never left the picture, so to speak. He's always been a part of my life. Weekends at Dad's house, that kind of thing. And he's always been a very active part of my life. And then in fact, for most of the time, I had either a bedroom at my dad's house or, something that was considered to be my space, So it's not like... Anyway, it was awesome. From my point of view, from a point of view of a kid, it's pretty great to have two households. You have two families, because my dad went off and got married, and he had 4 more kids, my 4 half-brothers and sisters, who I consider to be complete siblings, too. Well, 5. At the time, there were 4, but it turns out there were 5, because later on, after I was growing up, my dad got married again and had another kid, who's an awesome guy. But so needless to say, my dad's been married 3 times. My mom has been married 3 times. And when you include all my siblings, including full, half, and steps, there are 19 of us altogether. I think. In fact, there was a dispute about that. I was at my dad's house, and my sister and I were trying to count everybody, because we forget. And it seems like there was 19. At one time, it seemed like there were 20, and then we realized we were counting wrong, because we were attributing one of the... I don't know. It's just... It's hard to account for that many kids. It is. But anyway, so I'm sitting... I spent my Christmas divided between... my mom's house in West Jordan, Utah, and my dad's house on Capitol Hill in Salt Lake City, in the Marmalade District, for anybody that cares. And it was fun. It's weird, though. I mean, when you have that much family, some people don't show up and some people do, and some people, you can tell that they're just doing it out of obligation. Another sister of mine didn't show up to Dad's because she doesn't like Dad. There's a weird divide in that part of the family. When I talk about my family, it's hard to just say, well, and my family entirely, because there's all these separate little families. Like my mom's side of the family is that side, and then my dad's side of the family is that side, but then he's got a wife that's including a step family. She's Hawaiian, and so that was what's really fun, is that all the Hawaiians came over for Christmas too, and basically we had a luau at the house, and so there's all that. Oh, I can't give you the mathematics, but what I'm here to complain about, and maybe you can be, is there just some, when you have that many, for some of you, I know you're listening, you have one sister, and they cause you a pain in the butt. Well, compound that by 18. All these delicate little relationships. And who knows why family relationships are more delicate than others? Maybe they're not. But I guess they're just like, you have to deal with them whether you want to or not. And that's the good and bad thing about it. Because if it's a regular person and they're a pain in the ass and they're an asshole and they're passive aggressive, you just never see them again. You say, fuck you, get out of here. I'm not going to deal with you. But when they're your family or your sister, you go, all right, there's a reason to sort it out. And I have to admit, I'm not the best at sorting things out, I'm not. I'm a retreater. Maybe you could even call, I have abandonment issues, and it's probably because I'm a goddamn abandoner. When problems get too much, I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to deal with it. I'm out of here. Rather than take a deep breath and just go. I mean, what do you do in a situation like that? I know what I did when she said that, she didn't even want to be here. I kind of jokingly say, well, you don't have to be here. It sounds like a nice place. You should have stayed. Of course, that's a little bit of passive aggression, too. Because what I really want to say is, can't you just be nice and enjoy your dad and your brothers and just chill? And that's what I really want to say is just, can you just be nice? Can you just be nice? Can you realize that you're going to have a short time on the planet anyway? You're going to have a short time with your family, even, like an hour or two. You're only going to spend an hour or two. How about, is there a way we can make it pleasant? And I'm not trying to act like I'm not guilty of this too, because, me here venting on the internet to a bunch of strangers, certainly, I don't know that I would pat myself on the back for that. I could probably just be doing this on a phone call with the aforementioned party, But it's hard, man. Your blood gets up and you just want to express it's just hard because you're not supposed to. Nobody really likes, it's an uncomfortable thing to say to somebody, you have hurt me. What you said was hurtful, and I felt the pain of it. And I think it's tricky because a lot of people, they say those hurtful things, obviously to cause you pain, but more to see if they have that power. And they want to see it. And so if you hide the pain, like most men I know do, they don't get the reward. And then they try again. But it's tricky, right? Because if you show it, a lot of these mean people just want the power. And then they go, ooh, I can cause pain. Look at those tears. Look at those tears. And then you wonder, is there going to be a torrent of more? We know the world's filled with people who cause pain and love to see it because it gives them a sense of power. So what do? Do you imbibe them in that power? Or do you choose to just opt out and abandon it? I don't know. I don't have those answers, but it's tricky. And I'll tell you one thing, that even though I'm sitting here complaining, I'm realizing that these types of issues have more value to me than issues with strangers, because I can just walk away from a stranger, and I do, and I will, and I have this amazing talent that I can cut a stranger out of my life, or a person, or just, somebody that was kind of a friend. If somebody was kind of a friend totally crosses me and lies or deceives me, I have an amazing ability to sever that tie and not look back, But you can't do that with family, and that is either a curse or a blessing. I don't know. Probably both. It's probably a blessing, because then we really have to deal with it, I don't know. This is me talking into a telephone, a smart one. For strangers. I don't know, what would you do? What do, you other people with 18 siblings, each one with their own little special recipe of needs? I'm telling you, it's an interesting thing. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't recommend to people, and I'm not trying to say I'm not grateful for the interesting and fucking weird life that I have. I mean, the older I get, when I was young, I used to think, oh, I'm a normal little kid in a Mormon family in Utah. First of all, it doesn't even occur to you that being Mormon is weird. To the rest of the world, I've already started off weird. You just think of yourself, any circumstance that is delivered to you in your life is part of your normal life. And to somebody else, it's going to seem crazy. But the older I get, the more I look back and go, yeah, they don't, life timelines don't get much more fucked up and weird than mine. They really don't. 6 marriages? Is that 6 marriages? Or is it just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5 marriages between the parents. 18 siblings, 19 siblings, however many it is. You want me to name them? Here we go. Let's start with me. Then my full-blood sister, first one out. She was older than me, Erica, right? Then me, 2. Then we got Michael. He was the next born, my mom's second marriage. And April, for my mom's second marriage. That's 4. 4 kids came out of my mother. That's all for her. So that was initially a small family. Well, not to most, still 4 kids for one mom. And then she was single. We were a 4-child, single-parent family. I hate it when people say single mother, single parent. It's stupid because my dad was a parent too, and he was there. The courts did not, you have a primary residence, and that was my mom's. But I hate that when there shouldn't be a system where they say single parent. No, not a single parent. It's dual parent. They just don't live together. All right. Anyway, so there's the 4. Then my dad got remarried, and he had Daniel, Aaron, John, and Joanna. So that's 4 more, right? 4 plus 4 is 8. And that was a fun life for a little while. 4 kids at my mom's house. Then on weekends, the other 4 kids at Dad's house. And this was quite for a few years. 2 separate fun families in 2 different sides of the Salt Lake Valley. And then what came along after that? My mom got married to my stepdad, and he had 6 kids of his own. And they moved into our house in West Jordan. And their names were Tana, the oldest, Gina, the second oldest, Martin, the third oldest, Todd, Chad, and Shane, the youngest. And they all moved in. So now I had in West Jordan 10 kids in that house, in a small house. It had, the first one was 3-bedroom house, 10 kids there. And then we moved into another one around the corner. It was bigger. But still, 3 kids to a room type of deal. So I had 10 kids there and 4 kids at my dad's house. But then my dad got divorced and he got remarried again to a woman who had 4 kids. And their names were Adam. Wait, this is where I get screwed up. Adam, Robert, Damien, and Alethea. 4, right? And they didn't move in. They were there, but they lived in Hawaii and back and forth. So we saw them occasionally, holidays, a couple times a year maybe, right? Adam I've never met. He's the one that I didn't count for many years because I didn't even know Adam existed until like a few years ago. So, and then my dad and his new wife had another kid, Stephen. So he was another half. Add all those up. 10 plus 4 plus 4. No, see, I'm not doing that right. See how hard it is to do the math? You're going to have to go back and do this yourself. Anyway, I think there's 18 total. But anyway, so you're bound to have problems. So I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm complaining. I'm not complaining about my life, and you shouldn't complain about your life. You should be grateful for the weird life that you have. Because you're not going to have it forever. You're going to die. I know that's bad news. But you are. So be grateful. It's all a miracle. It's crazy. And even when you have to deal with problems and mean sisters, just mean sisters, mean passive-aggressive, mean sisters. My sister used to go around trying to warn my younger brother, don't end up like Dave. You don't want to end up like Dave. Dave, that's what I was called. People know me as Merkley in San Francisco, and most of my friends, even in Utah, call me Merkley. But family calls me Dave. Don't end up like Dave. You don't want to end up like Dave. Oh, the terror. And, it's probably true. I don't recommend anybody end up like me. I recommend you end up like you. And you know what? It's an easy recommendation to make because it's impossible for you to end up any other way. But try this. Don't be mean. Thanks for listening.